All right. Welcome to the Powerful Comicsman podcast. This is Gerald Dorado, and this is another Comicsman Daily episode. All right. Um. So I've been gathering some topics to talk about, and I've been thinking. I'm actually waiting for some news that would be interesting for me. Kasi may sandamakmak na mga news naman makikita mo sa YouTube, sa Facebook, pero sometimes parang hindi ko naman trip pag-usapan, especially here on the podcast. And I don't want to create content just for the sake of jumping into trends. But of course, there will be trends. There will be trending topics eventually na would be captivating at magiging interesado ako. Pero um, for the most part, if I think medyo, alam mo yun, hindi bagay sa akin, hindi, kumbaga talagang totally wala akong interest. Um, hindi kahit sobrang hot pa ng pagka-trending yan, malamang hindi ko gawin. Okay, so if there's something na you can count on the Comicsman daily episodes, that is pag gumawa ako ng ginawan ko ng video ang isang topic, genuinely interested ako doon. Okay? So right now, this is actually a topic that I wanted to talk about when I started to alam mo yun, parang thinking about reviving Comicsman Daily. And that is because, teka, balik muna natin dito. Okay, dapat pala yun ang una kong ano eh. Okay, so we're gonna be talking, yun pala dapat ang unang screen ko. Habang nag-i-spiel ako, doon sa mga nanonood sa YouTube, hulaan nyo kung sino yan. If you are 20 years old and below, I'll give you props kung kilala nyo sila. Okay? So, anyway, I wanted to talk about the generations. At least on one episode. Maybe manganganak pa to. Let's see. Pero, anyway, so time's up. The women that you are seeing in the photo is the legendary British girl group, the Spice Girls. Okay, so nung pumutok ang Spice Girls, I think I was in third year or fourth year high school. Third year ata. And then later on, itong video, yung ano yan, actually snapshot yan eh. Parang screenshot niya nung isang video nila. Nung video nila na move over. So you can watch it on YouTube. It's actually, well, when Spice Girls was when they were popular, they were really really popular. Parang mga ano yan, Ariana Grande levels yan. And then later on, napalitan sila ng Britney Spears. Pero nagkaroon sila ng sarili nilang era. Okay, and then naalala ko lang siya na na gamitin para dito sa video na to kasi meron silang kanta dati na Generation Next. Actually, Move Over ang title nung kanta na yun. Gawa yun na that was created for a Pepsi commercial. And yun, meron siyang basta it goes like Generation Next, Generation Next, a Generation Next. So, ganun. Panoorin nyo na lang kung hindi nyo alam. Pero malamang alam nyo yan. But during that time, actually, na-realize ko lang to eh. And medyo mind-blown ako nung na-realize ko siya. Na, during that time, when I was in high school, sila yung kumbaga, sa ngayon, sila yung mga millennials. Diba? Medyo palayo pa, medyo di eh. Di pa, kakapasok pa lang nila. Kakapasok pa lang ng mga Gen X noon. Or maybe they were in their parang peak, 'di ba? Mga Gen Xers, which itong mga Spice Girls, they are probably Gen Xers. And yung mga Gen Xers ngayon, they are now 45 to, well, 40, at magme-mid 40s na sila to maybe 60s. 'Di ba? Ganun. So most of them, yung mga pure Gen Xers, mga nasa 50 to mid 50s na sila. 'Di ba? That's mind-blowing to me. Na nung nag-high school ako, naisip ko to kasi I'm gonna be turning 40 in a couple of months. So April ang birthday ko. And alam mo yun, nare-realize ko na yung mga generations, tapos yung dating edgy na red generation, mga laging binubulyaman, laging minamaliit, those the same way that the millennials were looked down upon, and now the Gen Z people, the same thing, getting the same treatment. Yung mga matanda dati, sila yung ginaganon, parang mga walang kwenta. Tapos yung Gen X nga, kaya Gen X yun, kasi X, parang ano siya, variable. Kasi hindi nila alam. They did not have an identity. Which is so, parang what? 'Di ba? And I don't know kung sinong nagtatalaga nitong mga brands na to for generations, pero it's fascinating. And I think I trust that these are learned individuals, that they are at least academics na well researched, and yung mga findings nila are based on hard data, 'di ba? And yun, apparently, tingnan natin. Yung mga generations dati. Teka, hanapin natin kung saan nagsabi. Generations. Google natin. Kung saan ba yung nagpauso niyan. Okay. Sino ba mga bodies ang nagpapauso niyan? Merong, ano ba yung mga, sa kailan nagsimula? Parang meron pang silent generation, and then merong yung greatest generation. I think nauso yan nung World War II eh. After the World War II, na parang people were so impressed with the fighters. Well, I'm just guessing. Maybe that's what it is. That's why they called them greatest generations. Kasi after the war, they rebuilt. And kung ganun ka, if you're watching, then that would be an impressive feat. From the ashes of World War II, you got to rebuild the country and basically the whole world, kasi yung mga superpowers ng mundo yung naglaban nun eh, 'di ba? And doon nag-boom yung mga markets, and then so on and so forth, nagkaroon ng baby boomers. Tapos but that's another topic. Sabi ko sa inyo, mga anak yan eh. But for now, ayun nga, mind blown ako dahil dito sa Spice Girls, na during this time na ginawa nila when they were the Spice Girls, panahon ng Wannabe tsaka mga To Become One, they were the hottest chicks on the planet. They were young, and they were, kumbaga, para silang sina Ariana Grande ngayon. Ganun sila yun. And alam mo yun, it's a slap of reality, which I don't think you would realize. Kasi I saw that the demographic of the people watching my videos, and even on Spotify, nagulat ako, mas mababa than yung age range is lower than I expected. I expected kasi mga 30s to 45, yun ang mga makikinig sa akin eh. And much to my surprise, ang mas madaming nakikinig are people 18 to 25. 'Di ba? 18 to 24. Basta ganun. So, mas mababa yung next demographic below the age range that I thought I was hitting. Yun pala. So, I don't know if this will hit you, may impact na to sa inyo right now. Pero I'm sure one day they will. Kasi ba, no, kasi ngayon I have the luxury of comparing myself from who I am now, from who I was back then, and how I think now before versus back then, and what I know now, and yun, mga alam ko dati. And so I can compare. Diba? I don't think for sure pumapasok sa utak ko yung time, yung growing old. Pero until you experience it and realize the time that has passed, that you can never regain, that you can never, kasi lumampas na 'di ba? Just this morning, that was gone forever, 'di ba? Let's say 20 hours. That's gone. That's listed in history. And all we have is what's left in our future until the day we die. And those are those are profound thoughts. And kasi when you're young, those time lost time kasi could also mean lost opportunities lost opportunities, lost uh, chances to do something good or to make right decisions, mga ganyan. And the more time that passes, the more of those that you will collect later on in your life. And maybe that's why it hits so much harder when you get older. So now I'm gonna be turning 40, and so I could only imagine how I would feel if by any chance na makaabot ako ng 80 years old, di ba? Or 90, or maybe just the next 10 years, 50, di ba? So uh na-derail yung influencer generation pa nga lang ang title nito eh. We're gonna be talking about that topic maybe later on or on another episode. But right now, let's focus on the generations. Let's go back to generations. Okay, kasi right now, ako kasi I still belong to the millennials. Okay, so I was born 1981, and that is the first year uh, based on the most sources na nababasa ko. 81 is officially yun yung cut off ng Gen X tsaka millennials. Okay, so millennials hanggang 1997 daw yung mga millennials, 'di ba? So 81 to 97, and then Gen Z would be 97 until what? Okay, yun ang tanong ko. Kasi parang parang gano'n parang tapos na yung peak ng Kasi ang pinaka-vibrant na parte ng buhay ng isang tao would be in your 20s to late to early 30s. 'Di ba? So nandun yung focus, those are the people where na alam mo yun, starting to make impacts, or sila yung starting to contribute to society kasi may bago silang trabaho. They are the ones who spend a lot. They're the ones buying clothes and alam mo yun, nagta-travel, mas madami yung ganyan. Kasi sabi, when I was that age, it's the first time na nakahawak ng sarili mong pera eh. So, and to most people, yun yung masaya doon. And you are building relationships, you are creating memories, building for your life, di ba? Or not. Depends on what kind of person you are, di ba? But so most of the time, actually all the time, nakafocus talaga sa sa dun sa demographic na yun. Yun yung yun yung peak ng generation mo. And or at the very least, yun yung time na pinaka naka-spotlight kayo, yung generation nyo. 'Di ba? Kasi if you can like I said kanina, parang back then yung ang laging bineberate Generation X, 'di ba? Mga wala daw patutunguhan, yun mga yung mga sinasabi na ng ano ng mga tao sa 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 Gen X eh. Tapos ngayon, ang mga millennials daw, naging ano naman, naging entitled, di ba? Yung mga entitled na tao. Tapos ngayon, ang mga Gen Z, I think may natitira pating mga entitlement na stereotype. Pero, I don't know, ano ba yung mga stereotypes ng ng Gen Z? Tingnan natin. Ah, competitive. Anyway, uh, so, eto, napadpad tayo ngayon. Recently I've been asking even on the podcast, ano yung susunod sa Generation Z, di ba? So after nun, so yung naisip ko kasi ang magde-define based on my observation, ang nagde-define sa mga generations are the cultural developments. I think it's based on culture. Siguro kasama na rin yung demographics and mga status sa buhay ng mga tao. Pero for at least yung mainstream definitions would be based on which technologies can affect culture, 'di ba? That is very apparent dun sa millennials and Gen Z. Kasi during sa amin, sa mga millennials, ang bagong innovation nun would be cable, 'di ba? Nagkaroon na ng internet pero hindi pa it's not what internet back in the late 90s is not the same. It's worlds apart. Yung internet noon sa internet ngayon. Kahit nasa Pilipinas pa tayo. Okay, so hindi although inabutan namin yung early beginnings ng internet, hindi pa namin enjoy yon. And also mga bata pa kami. So ang naging generation namin yung sa TV, 'di ba? Merong accessible bigla yung mga palabas sa ibang bansa, yung cable TV, and then music, cultural, kasi nagkaroon ng revolution sa sa yung mga hindi punk revolution, mga grunge, di ba? Yeah, I think those are the things that defined uh, generation. At saka dati, naglalaro pa kami sa labas. Yun yung isang parang nag-interlope yun eh. The millennials were the last generation na naglalaro pa rin sa labas ng bahay. Nakikipaglaro mga patentero, mga ganyan. And at the same time, nagvi-video games na. Kasi may mga video games na nun eh. May mga family computer, ganyan. PlayStation 1, lumabas na rin nun. Sega, mga ganyan. And then, Gen Z, medyo mas sheltered na yung mga Gen Z. 'Di ba? Sa kanila, baby sila, meron ng broadband internet sa mundo. And that's yung dial-up internet kasi that's worlds apart compared to broadband. Tapos ngayon meron na tayong mga fiber, 'di ba? So, it's nandiyan na yung mga inabutan nila, yung Facebook Although I think ang pinakaunang nag-enjoy diyan would be the millennials din. Kasi nung sa'min mga 20s kami, 2000s yun, eh. 2000s we were in our 20s. So 2000 to 2010, 'di ba? Or oo nga, tama, more or less ganun. 2000 to 2010. And ano ba? Doon nagkaroon ng mga ng mga Facebook dati, pero hindi pa rin siya katulad nung what Facebook is right now. Kasi back then it's medyo mahabang paliwanagan, pero it's different. People back then hindi pa nare-realize ng mga tao, at least in the first 3 years ng Facebook, hindi pa siya nawe-weaponize ng sa politika. People were just happy stalking their crushes, their alam mo yun, their enemies, and just catching up with long lost people, mga 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 tropang matagal mo nang hindi nakita. Yun yung tingin lang ng mga tao dati, and sharing stupid memes, mga ganon. Yun lang yung trip ng Facebook dati. And right now, wala pang streaming noon. Wala pang video. Alam ko wala pang video. May video na ba yung Facebook noon? I think meron, pero I don't know. Hindi ko maalala. Tapos yung mga Facebook games pa dati, ngayon nga wala nang Facebook games halos, eh, 'di ba? So iba talaga yung itsura ng social media noon. And during that time, mga baby ang mga Gen Z. Diba? Sometimes I would have a Gen Z na guest dito sa podcast, and sometimes kailangan mag-usap muna kami ng medyo matagal bago kami mag-start, lalo na kung hindi ko naman siya kilala. Kasi I need to find common ground. Sometimes I would have may mga mag re-recommend ng guest sa akin. Minsan tatanungin ko pag nakita ko yung photo, ilang taon na ba to? So pag mga 23 below, o actually kahit 25, basta below 25, parang lalo na kung babae, 'di ba? Kasi parang baka wala kaming mapag-usapan, 'di ba? Especially kung kumbaga hindi pa siya ganoon ka-accomplished yung nare-recommend. And while of course madaming mga achievers on that age, as the more you age, the more you will realize the realness of age gap. Diba? Totoo yun. And kumbaga, if you are 23 years old, imagine you are on a show, you are hosting a podcast, tapos biglang may mag-guest sa'yo na 9-year-old. Diba? It's the same thing. That's what it is. It's medyo feeling mo iba kasi yung 9-year-old sobrang bata. Pero yung layo ng ako kasi, like I said, magfo-40 na ako this year. If I'm gonna be talking to a 23 or 20-year-old, that's almost 20 years. That's 2 decades. 'Di ba? So meron kang meron kang mga, pero syempre mas madali naman na makapag-usap kasi adult na rin 'yon. And basta you will realize it when you grow old. Okay, so it's tough. But then again, etong yung what's coming next dun sa Gen Z, yun ang iniisip ko. Kasi right now, baby pa sila. 'Di ba? Now is the turn ngayon ng mga Gen Z. They are entering their 20s. 'Di ba? So yung mga Gen Z in 5 years time, mga na yan, mga 25 years old, sila na yung mga Nagsisimula na silang magpapakasal na yan isa-isa, 'di ba? Yun yung mga Gen Z ngayon eh. And soon they're gonna be having kids of their own, 'di ba? And makikita mo yung mapapansin mo yung ano eh, yung mga tao as you age, it's like a conveyor belt of people na habang kada minuto umaandar yun, parang pasulong ka ng pasulong sa path ng buhay mo, 'di ba? And I don't know if you for a guy who's like me who fascinates on the idea of time, kasi mahilig ako sa ano eh, when I write stories most of the time malaki ang ang participation ng concept ng time talaga, whether it's from billions of years in the past or future or just a couple of years, pero I love the concept of time. It amazes me. And that's why it's fascinating for me to observe that I have spent enough time on this world to make an observation on how people grow old and how the experiences vary as different changes in the world and the culture happens and technology. So, ngayon, if what I said kanina is, 'di ba, yung technology at saka yung culture ang kumbaga may magshi-shift na ano na sa amin kasi TV at saka meron pang traditional games. Digital, we were entering the digital age, pero we are still enjoying yung analog. 'Di ba, may mga DVD, may DVD na o mga VCD na, pero meron pa rin kaming mga Betamax. So nandoon kami sa gitna. Kumbaga sa dagat, brackish yung tubig namin. It's where the river na fresh water nagmi-meet sa ocean, 'di ba? Sa ano naman, sa Gen Z, sila yung nag-enjoy ng sila yung unang bata pa sila, nakahawak na sila ng iPad, 'di ba? It's a normal thing for them. May cellphones na nun, 'di ba? Nung kami, inabutan namin kami yung mga unang gumamit ng cellphones, pero hindi pa, medyo out kumbaga primitive pa yon by today's standards yung inabutan namin ng cellphones, 'di ba? And we were already kumbaga develop na yung utak namin na kumbaga mga 20s na. Ako first time ako nagka-cellphone, I think I was 21. 'Di ba? Maybe not. Baka 19 or 20. I think 19. I think 19 pala. Mga ganun. And yung kumbaga hindi ka na baby, 'di ba? Yun ang punto ko. Pero the millennials at the Gen Zs, may cellphone na sila, baby pa lang sila. 'Di ba? Kung 97 ka pinanganak, 3 years old ka, toddler ka pa nun, may cellphone na nun. And kumbaga feeling mo cellphones had always been there, a part of the world. 'Di ba? So just like how I thought that TVs had always been there, 'di ba? Kasi nung pag nag-research ka, 80s or 70s, ang unti pa ng TV sa Pilipinas. Makikita mo yung TV dati, yung mga black and white, meron pang cabinet 'yun. If you can Google TVs in the 1970s, uso pa 'yun, yung mga nasa cabinet na TV. Tapos black and white. And hindi lahat may TV. Dun sa barangay namin, sa Laguna, ang mga may TV lang doon, yung mga yung mga nag-abroad, yung mga may nag-abroad sa pamilya doon sa amin. So, sa amin may TV kasi OFW yung ilang mga ano mga kamag-anak namin. Tsaka even my parents were. So, meron kaming TV at tsaka, pero yung siguro kada apat na bahay merong may TV. Ganun. At saka kung may TV man, mga lumang TV talaga. Pero ngayon, sobrang mura na ng TV, 'di ba? And ngayon for the next generation, nakokornihan nga ako kasi naunahan na pala akong magpangalan. Generation Alpha daw yung susunod sa sa na generation Z, sa mga Zenials, which is parang bakit Alpha? Tapos ito binasa ko kanina, it the the term Generation Alpha was coined back in 2008. Hindi pa nga naipapanganak yung mga Generation Alpha eh. Kasi sinasabi nila dito, ang naging cut-off ay early 2010s, which is tama if you're gonna check my podcast episodes na pinag-usapan ko to. Tama yung yung tansya ko eh. Sabi ko mga 2011, 2013, 2011. Basta in between 2010 and 2015 yan yung magiging next cut off. Kasi ang bagong innovation nun sa sa culturally and technologically, aside from the internet, kasi internet matagal na eh, 'di ba? Ano ang bago sa internet? Ang naging bago sa internet is live streaming. Creator-owned content. Yun ang bago na I think which would na ngayon you would see na ginagamit siya ng mga bata eh. Kasi yung mga, let's say, TikTok. Punta ka sa TikTok. Yan, ito si Niana Guerrero. I think wala pang 22 eh. Pero so nasa gitna siya ng mga Gen Z to. Sila yung mga pure na Gen Zs. So sila yung mga naging influencers. Pwede kang maging influencer. You can have 20 million followers. 'Di ba? Magugulat ka dito sa TikTok. Um, punta tayo sa For You page ko. Let's see. Hindi ko kilala yan. Dito lang sa following. Okay. Nasaan ba yung mga Pinoy? Si Rosemar, ano na to eh. Mga batang ano to eh. Batang millennial pa to eh. Kasi 27 na pala siya. Pero itong si Silly Queen, ano siya? Gen Z to. Kasi 20 lang siya eh. 'Di ba? So they are entering their adult lives. And eto si Beatrice. Yung mga paborito. Tuwa ako. And if you're gonna look, especially dito si Silly Queen, kita mo Silly Queen is a probinsyana from Cavite. Tapos alam mo 'yun, nakakatuwa siya kasi she's just herself. She's not trying to pretend to be alam mo 'yun, social. She is herself. 'Di ba? Kung paano sila magsalita sa Cavite, ganun siya magsalita sa TikTok. And that makes her a very genuine content creator. Well, aside of course, she's very pretty, ganda ng mukha ni Silly Queen. Tapos very adorable yung mga galaw niya and how she carries herself. Tapos alam mo 'yun, yung a fun-loving young woman, 'di ba? Ganun siya eh. But then again, there are other creators na alam mo 'yun, magtataka ka kung bakit magtataka ka talaga kung bakit sikat, 'di ba? Parang teka, maghanap tayo ng mga tawag dito, ng mga examples. Eto, tong guy na to, Gumawa lang siya ng ano, ng video na ganyan. Hindi naman gwapo, 'di ba? Tingnan natin kung ilang ano to, kung ilang followers. See? 106,000.1. 106,100 po siya. Eto, si Nikki Velayo, 'di ba? Well, at least cute siya. Makikita mo cute siya. So, mga Gen Z 'yan. Merong mga ano merong mga talagang kahindik-hindik kung tutuusin pero sikat sila. I'm sure makikita mo 'yon. May mga makikita kayo diyan. Uh, so what I'm saying is this this social media platform ano uh, it's given power to really young people, 'di ba? Merong isang katulad nitong si Silly Queen, 'di ba? Nung 20 ako, tatanga-tanga ako 'di ba? Merong isang binabash parate na babae dito sa TikTok. Teka, sino ba mga nandito? I think yung sino ba 'yon? Eto. Eto, sino ba 'to nalimutan ko pangalan nito. Basta this girl. Ayan meron siyang binabash siya dito sa video na to, 'di ba? Kasi she would do something relatively stupid. Alam mo 'yun, or a little mistake na hindi naman makaka makakagulo ng mundo, 'di ba? Wala namang mamamatay. Alam mo 'yun, if she slips some words while she's talking, pero syempre they're gonna blow it up. Kasi ilan ba yung followers niya? So they are in the position na na, na makaapekto sa mga tao. And of course, they love it while it's growing. Kasi they feel the love, 'di ba? Konti pa lang yung mga haters. Pero once you get large enough, like let's say itong si Rose Martin, ang dami ring bashers nito, lalo na ng mga nakaraang buwan. I don't know how they would react. And ano ang iisipin ng mga bata ngayon, yung mga supposedly gusto kong tawagin Generation I for influencers. Kasi siguro dapat gumawa ako ng i-challenge ko yung Generation Alpha. Kalokohan Generation Alpha. Kasi wala lang silang maisip. Gusto lang niyang mauna feeling ko na sila yung Hindi pa nga nila kilala, pinangalanan na nila, 'di ba? So it doesn't make sense, Generation Alpha. Ang reasoning lang nila is kasi yung alpha, kumbaga Generation Z, 'di ba? Z. Tapos na, 'di ba? Wala nang kasunod sa alphabet ang Z . So bumalik na lang ulit sila sa alpha, 'di ba? Para beginning daw. It's a new beginning for ano sabi niya? Eto, when I was researching my book, became apparent that a new generation was about to commence and there was no name for them. So I conducted a survey to find out what people think after the generation should be called. Generation A was the most mentioned. Generation Alpha. 'Di ba yun lang? Yun lang ang dahilan. Dapat bigyan mo ng okay pa yung millennials kasi millennials we were the first, kumbaga we hit our prime we entered the fray basically at the turn of the millennium. So kaya millennials ang tawag sa mga millennial, ganun. Pero itong at least merong distinct na nangyari, 'di ba? Yung Gen Z nga medyo 'di ba? Dapat mag-isip-isip ka naman kasi ang supposedly Generation Y yung yung millennials. Pero mas nag-catch yung millennial na term kasi mas maganda nga naman millennial kaysa naman generation Y. Who likes the letter Y? 'Di ba? Parang wala nang ano eh. Walang parang yun ang pinaka-lame na letter sa alphabet eh. Y, 'di ba? Parang hindi macho, hindi sexy, hindi katulad ng X, 'di ba? Z mukhang astig, 'di ba? Z, 'di ba? Let's say para kang ano, let's say si Zorro. 'Di ba? Si Zorro pag ano eh, pag ginagawa niya kasi yung mga kalaban niya mamarkahan niya ng Z for Zorro. Eh kung naging ano, naging ah ano bang pangalan ng Y? Ilyak, 'di ba? 'Yan ang pangalan niya si Ilyak, 'di ba? O kaya si ano bang pangalan ng Y? Iliana. Kung ganun yung pangalan niya, 'di ba? Tapos makikipag-espadahan ka tapos lalagay mo Y, 'di ba? Para ang baduy eh. Hindi bagay, walang kaastig-astig pag Y. Maganda yung Z, 'di ba? Kasi maganda yung itsura aesthetically, yung design ng letter. Pag X, ganun din. Pag R, maganda nga rin yung R eh. Parang sexy yung R eh. 'Di ba? A, maganda rin, 'di ba? Mukhang maangas. Kahit nga ano eh, kahit nga L, okay na rin eh. O kaya M. Pero yung Y, parang walang ano eh. Walang dating talaga. So, hindi nag-catch up yung Generation Y. Naging millennials. So, X, Y, Z dapat yan. So, ngayon, ang tatamad nilang mag-isip. Walang ka-creativity. Kung ako ang tatanungin, dapat Generation I ang itawag doon. And I would stand for influencer. Because yung ability, sila yung mga nanonood ng influencers ngayon. And influencers are kumbaga namulat sila sa mundo na may mga influencers na the people can anyone can become a star. Anyone can start their own YouTube channel, their own blow up in YouTube kahit pangit ka, kahit kahit alam mo yun, basta may internet connection ka, ayos na yun. Pwede kang mag-start ng podcast mo, ganyan. And yun. Gusto kong i-share. Na gusto kong tawagin na Generation I yung susunod na generation after Gen Z. Because I think, I don't know, future ang ano eh. We're talking about the future here. We don't know what they're gonna do. Okay? Kasi hindi mo alam eh. And ang mga tanong dyan, ano ang gagawin nitong mga taong to and how will the influencers affect these young children growing up because these are the ones looking up to them and they have their cell phones. Nanonood sila, may mga cellphone yung nanay at tatay nila, hinihiram nila yan. Si Silly Queen nga, ang dami niyang ano eh, ang dami niyang fans na bata, binibisita siya. Kita mo gano'n ako ka-addict sa gano'n ako ka-addict sa ano, sa TikTok. Tingnan natin yung ano niya. Binibisita siya ng mga bata sa bahay kasi bakit siya bibisitahin? Hindi ibig sabihin napapanood siya, 'di ba? As in mga bata, as in mga 4, 5 years old, pupunta dun sa bahay nila, kinakatok siya. 'Di ba? So, I think tama yung ano. And also, these kids watch their parents. Yung mga parents nila nagti-TikTok din, 'di ba? They're always on Facebook. So, they observe it and they're gonna grow up wherein social media and becoming somebody through social media is a norm. Okay, so that's how will that affect them? So that's one question. And then also, what will come next after what will be the next cultural revolution Kasi I think yung live streaming is a cultural revolution. Being able to produce content, that is one of the best revolutions ever. Kasi right now, I'm talking to you. I have basically a radio show on which I produce here on my inside my room, and it's amazing, 'di ba? So ano yung susunod na ganito? Ano yung next level up in terms of technology? Yung iba, some people are saying it's gonna be AI. Yung sinabi nila parang virtual reality, pero mukhang hindi naman nagano eh. Mukhang, I don't know, augmented reality pa nga yung iba. Pero I don't see it. I think if I'm gonna make a prediction, augmented reality, I don't know. Maybe not in in the near future. I don't know. Of course, pwedeng mali ako. Kasi yung virtual reality, maybe a new form of augmented reality and virtual reality will emerge. Kasi si Elon Musk, he is developing the Neuralink na parang pwede kang maglagay ng computer sa utak mo, 'di ba? So, if everybody gets that, pwede kayong magbasahan ng utak literally. So, ganun katindi yun. Can you imagine that? So, the death of privacy. Para tayong sina Professor X lahat. So, that's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. So, we don't know. And yung mga Gen Z, itong mga, hindi, ayokong tawagin na Generation Alpha sila. Ang tatawag sa kanila Generation I, Influencer Generation. Sila yung unang gagamit nun. And, alam mo yun, I can still go on and on about talking about the future, but I'm gonna end the episode right now. This is supposed to be shorter episodes, so I am failing in that aspect, but I'm glad that I get to do more episodes like this. Okay, so that's it for now. Powerful Comics Man podcast. See you in the future.